Investors pulled their money out of France ahead of prospective victory for Marine Le Pen. So the mention of this woman's name, it has a way in France of making the people that are profiting from the current government in France, or the people that are working for the owners of this world, to be shivering, because she is totally the opposite and stand for the opposite of what the rulers of this world want to be doing with France when it comes to Africa or when it comes to the world in general. City traders are selling off French bonds amid mounting fears of a debt crisis in Europe's second largest economy. So you see, city traders are selling off bonds, French bonds, amid mounting fears of debt crisis in Europe's second largest economy, because France is Europe's largest economy. Investors are pulling money out of French government debt ahead of a prospective victory for Marine Le Pen's hard-right national rally at the upcoming snap election. So it means that these city traders are already afraid that even the so-called election, the snap election their president has called on the 30th of June and 7th of July, they already know that this woman is going to win. So they are panicking. They don't want to lose their money. So just imagine that one person win an election and they are shivering, they are panicking like this. Imagine what will happen to French economy the day that these African countries, they are still holding hostages with pen and paper, that they are claiming they have given independence, why they have never given these countries independence. Imagine what will happen to French economy the day these countries will get their total independence. I'm telling you, if care is not taken, French will be declared a third world country, because 63% of their yearly GDP comes from the economies of these countries. Yes, a sense of alarm has spread across French markets ever since Emmanuel Macron announced the dissolution of parliament last week. This culminated in Bruno Le Maire, France's finance minister, warning that the country could face a Liz Truss-style scenario if Ms. Le Pen's low-tax, high-spending party succeeds at the polls. So what does it tell you? It tells you that the mention of this woman's name causes them to shiver. It causes them to tremble, because this woman is totally the opposite of what the leader of France and the rulers of this world are representing. Alex Leverett, an investment manager at Abidon, said he has been offloading French bonds amid the recent bout of political turbulence. So this woman winning, her party winning a lot of votes in this past European Union parliamentary election, is already what they are calling bout of political turbulence. He said debt markets are quiet, rightly pricing in the political and credit risk premium that France has brought upon itself across this week, adding that it is a mess that Mr. Macron, by extension Mr. Le Maire, have caused themselves. As a result, Mr. Leverett said Abidon is wavering French bonds in favor of safer investment elsewhere in Europe. So they are selling off their bonds in France and investing it elsewhere in Europe, where they think that their investments will be safer, because they know that if this woman finally, the party win these snap elections again, that's my spell doom for their investment. That might cause them to lose their investment and lose a whole lot of money. It comes as the French government's borrowing cost soared late last week, with interest rates on 10-year debt matching that of Portugal for the first time in 20 years. So you see, this panic is equally caused by, as French government's borrowing cost soared late last week, with interest rates on 10-year debt matching that of Portugal for the first time in 20 years. So, truth be told, in as much as this woman is a far right, yes, but to some extent, this woman has a key. If this far right in France come into power, she might be that golden key that will release the remaining Francophone African countries that are still under the chains of France. Because one of the things that she has been campaigning for is to set these African countries free. That will be one of the way that illegal migrants will stop coming to France. And to some extent, she's right. Because when these countries have total independence, they manage their affairs, then the people can hold their leaders accountable if their leaders don't have the backing of any external forces or external powers, and their leaders have no choice than to deliver, because their people can as well hold them direct accountable. And that is why you see that the powers that be have been doing everything they can for the years to frustrate this woman's effort, because they know that she's a threat to the food they have been eating, because she will take food out of their mouths. Yes, but fingers crossed, we will see what will be the outcome of the snap elections in France on the 30th of June and 7th of July. Who comes out victorious and what will be the way forward from there.